Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it's time for another daily dose of dismal Disney. We're going to talk about Disney layoffs, bunch of layoffs in television, National Geographic, and apparently they're going to be laying people off at ABC News.
Okay.
So, whoopsie doopsie. This is fine. I'm sure this is all fine.
Ahead of an election. That's unusual. That's surprising.
It's because these divisions aren't performing. Nobody's watching linear TV. Nobody's reading National Geographic.
Because they're going to YouTube to find out about the news.
They are.
At least then they'll know it'll be less biased.
Well, they got to pay for Robert Downey Jr.
There you go.
That's how they got to save some money.
You can't just lay off 140 people to pay for you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
Yeah, it's looking pretty dismal at Disney. They said the television unit was hit with 140 layoffs, including cuts at National Geographic. This is coming from the LA Times. They said they're laying off 2% of their workforce, or 140 people. I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot, but people are still like, hey, I thought Disney was doing pretty good. Why are you laying more people off? They said that they're continuing a company-wide cost-cutting plan.
Why? Why do they need to do that?
Why do they need to do that?
Because they just announced that they're going to have that venue sports and all this stuff. That it's going to cost like $43 a month introductory. And then
nobody's going to pay that.
And then you can get locked into that, which implies that they're going to raise the price. But it has all these sports. That's one they're combining with Fox and ESPN and Warner and stuff to do. They have money for that. But why are they making cuts? I thought, why do they need company-wide cost cutting still? Yeah,
well, they're saying they're talking about the 7,000 people they're going to lay off, but like I didn't think they were still doing this. So this
is more.
This tells me that things aren't good right now. We know things aren't good in TV, but things are really not good. They said the cuts at Disney Entertainment Television primarily affect National Geographic, Freeform, which I forgot existed, and locally owned television stations, as well as marketing and publicity teams. Marketing is always the first to go, according to a person familiar with the matter who was not authorized to comment, because I don't want to get fired too. National Geographic is going to see a 13% cut. No teams are being eliminated. The famous brand became part of Disney with the $71.3 billion acquisition of Fox. Yeah. But they said, the cost cuts come as Disney continues to cut in an attempt to save money and stem losses from its streaming business. Let's highlight this.
That's supposed to be super profitable already, according to the Motley Fool?
Yes. The cut costs are an attempt to save money and stem losses from the streaming business.
Hot damn! How are they going to make all their streaming profitable by the end of this? That's how
we're going to fire as many people as we can.
End of what is September?
Yep.
So we're just going to lay a bunch of people off, and then say, "Oh, look, we're profitable now."
CEO Bob Iger said the company would lay off 7,000 people as part of a $5.5 billion cost-cutting plan.
That was all for last year. That's not. That was
Chapek announced that. That was like 2 years ago.
Chapek announced they were going to do it, and then they got rid of Chapek, and then they brought Bob Iger in at the end of 2022. And people were like, yay, Iger's here. We're not going to get laid off. And then basically, because they all like, oh, that's a bad idea. And then basically Bob Iger just turned around and did exactly what Chapek was going to do, but more so. And then the layoffs for that was last year. So they're laying off more people. That wasn't part of that. Yeah, it's supposed to be 7,000. Then it went up to 8,000 positions. And now they're talking beyond that, guys.
And they're blaming streaming. That's my takeaway from this. Is that the targets eventually swelled to $7.5 billion savings, 8,000 eliminated roles. The company overextended. This is coming from the LA Times. The company overextended itself during the streaming wars in an effort to compete with Netflix by building up Disney Plus and Hulu. Mm-hmm. Then Wall Street was like, yeah, this isn't gonna work, guys. They're all blowing themselves up.
Spoiler, Disney Plus never did compete with Netflix.
No.
They rolled Hulu into it, and they're rolling all their stream numbers together. They're trying to make themselves, it's like an animal that tries to make itself bigger to scare off predators. They're trying to make themselves look bigger to compete with Netflix, and they're still nowhere near it.
It's like a puffer fish, blowfish.
Yeah,
or something.
They're still nowhere near it.
No, and now we've got, again, not to beat the Tubi drum, but we've got Tubi really doing well, and it's free. And a lot of these free streaming services are picking up momentum because people don't have the money to pay Disney or whatever and everybody else for subpar entertainment.
Not to beat the Tubi drum. Hell, you're the one who made the drum.
I built the, I said it was genius. It was a genius move.
You said it since the beginning when he bought it. And everyone's like, oh, did you hear about Tubi? It's like, yeah, well, guess where it came from?
You can check. Like 3 years ago, I said when Fox bought Tubi, I'm like, oh my God, he's taking a fraction of the money that Disney gave him. I mean, he bought Tubi for like $400 million. It was all ready to go. You just had to put content on it. It was ready to go. It was already built. It had good bones, like they say about houses.
Back when someone was in our Slack all the time. Yeah. Anyway, let's continue.
Anyway, we tend to do other people's homework for them all the time. It's really annoying. Disney's television operations are run by Dana Walden, who people think might be the next CEO.
Yeah, okay, we have to lay off because the streaming is not profitable. But the person who runs Disney television operations is the person that they think is going to be the next CEO. But they have to lay people off because it wasn't working. Right. I just think that's funny. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. Let's see here. They talk about the Bear, Shogun, Hulu's, Only Murders in the Building, blah, blah, blah. Okay, FX was second most nominated network behind Netflix. Who cares about the nominations?
That's what they're going to base on. It's okay, look over there, guys. We got all these nominations for Emmys. Okay, and it doesn't give you more money, does it?
No, it does not. Like, that's the thing. It's like, it doesn't matter how many fist bumps you get. That was like Disney trying to justify Disney Plus and Hulu and all that before. They're like, look at all the awards we were nominated for. Look at all the Academy Awards that we were nominated for. Gosh, we're doing so good. I'm like, yeah, well, some Academy Award winning movies were box office disasters. It wasn't because the movie was good or bad. It was that audiences didn't pay to go see it. And, it's ridiculous.
Well, the next part. And in May, Disney, owned computer animation studio. Pixar laid 14% of its staff off. And then they turned around and had the number. Inside Out 2 has made the top 10 list of movies ever.
Yes.
And it's number 10 now. And that's after they laid off a bunch of their people.
Well, yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah. But I think I kind of wonder if they didn't hurry up and do it. Like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, we have an excuse now. Like, we know Inside Out 2 is probably going to make money, but we have an excuse. So, oh, guys, we're so broke. We're so poor. Oh, woe is us.
But they're laying off all these people again.
Yeah.
Ahead of the end of the fiscal year.
Right.
So they can claim that, look, our profitability's increased. We made all this, this progress. Yeah. But it was like you had to lay off a bunch of people to do it.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, there's more. Okay.
But wait, there's more. They haven't chopped them yet, but apparently they are going to be gutting ABC News again.
And GMA.
Yeah.
GMA, who is the supposedly news channel, which is just the promotional arm of Disney.
It is. Like, every time they announce a new ride or a new land or something.
It's on GMA.
They're like, oh, yeah, and so, president of whatever country was, attacked yesterday. But now we're going to talk about the new Toy Story land opening up. Guys, isn't that great? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I said ABC News staffers, this come from the New York Post. ABC News staffers are bracing for major cuts as the Disney-owned network slashes budgets, with even those at the top-rated Good Morning America show on the chopping block, the Post has learned. Again.
Now, ahead of the end of the fiscal year. So they can try to say, oh, look, because either they make it, profitable for 2 weeks. We hit profitability, guys. We had to, fire how many people, but we did.
Yeah. The Mouse House has demanded that GMA reduce its bottom line by a whopping $19 million, up from the previous projections of $17 million before the end of Disney's fiscal year.
Right there.
September 30th.
There it is.
Inside.
I haven't even read these.
Yep.
There it is. This is just knowing what I'm talking about.
So, yeah, Disney's fiscal year is not a calendar year. Their fiscal year begins in October 1st. October 1st, which coincides actually with the opening of Disney World in the 70s. But so here's the thing. When you're going to see layoffs at Disney, it's going to be August, September, mostly, because they have to trim the fat, and they're going to look at everything and they're going to be like, yeah, we got to, get rid of some dead weight here. So I think what's going to happen is I think the numbers are not going to be that good, because we know that park attendance is down. I think Disney Plus subscribers are probably down, but they're going to try to spin it as a win. They're going to throw a bunch of people overboard, and then they're going to be like, oh, going into 2025, we anticipate more profitability.
Wait, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Did you read under the picture what it says?
Okay.
Meanwhile, sources told the Post that GMA cuts won't be coming from the 8-figure salaries of the show's top talent.
George Stephanopoulos isn't getting a pay cut.
They're not. They're going to take it away from. They're going to get rid of people, but instead, yes, they're not going to take any money away from them.
Well, they need the faces, right? Because that's the on-air talent.
Behind the scenes staffers like bookers and producers are the ones who are going to get the shaft.
They'll have contracts. There will be no cut at that level. A former
Yeah,
ABC
because it's too expensive to dick with their contracts. But they'll watch all the poor people get cut. But yeah, whatever.
Wow. A former ABC News executive said the hosts, who are estimated to make between $17 and $18 million each, you could cut one of them, and there you go.
But they won't because they have contracts.
But they will have to cut jobs. So how many people are going to have to lose their jobs to keep these people on? But then the flip side is, if people are watching GMA, are they watching it because of these people? You know, so that's, I have no way to know. I don't know. So the pending cuts at GMA come as the show loses ground to the Today Show, which is a close second in total viewers, and consistently on top when it comes to 25 to 54, which is like everybody, a key advertising demographic. All working adults age 25 to 54. That's who we want. In the second quarter of the year, Nielsen said GMA reeled in 2.8 million total viewers. That's not great. And 494,000 viewers in the demo. Today had 2.7 million viewers. And
620,000 demo viewers. They had more demo viewers.
Yeah, well, demo matters because that's advertising, right? So they want to...
GMA is not doing quality stuff, said another former ABC exec. There's a lot of tape pieces, and it's more live hits, and there's a lot of segments selling stuff in studio. Yes, it's them promoting Disney shit.
It basically is the adult version of what the Disney Channel used to be, where they were constantly selling shit to teenagers. Like, go to Disney, guys, go to Disney World. Oh my God, here's your favorite Disney Channel stars at Disney World. You want to book a trip, right? They're doing the same thing. Oh no, the president of Uzbekistan, got shot. Hey, book a trip to Disney. It's a great time to go to Disney, unless you're a Uzbekistani or whatever. I just made that country up. It probably does exist, and I offended the two of you that watch this channel, and I'm so sorry.
Basically, they're talking about they'll probably send local reporters to cover stuff. They're not replacing the chick they got rid of, Kim Godwin. So they said that they haven't replaced her yet. They'll replace her. If they do, it'll be after the fiscal year ends. I want to bet it'll be or they'll announce it before the fiscal year ends for the investors' sake, but they won't actually start until the new fiscal year. That'll probably be what they'll do with that one, just to save that money. They call it kicking the can down the road, and every company does this, right? Every company does this. Like, if your fiscal year ends in December, you dump a lot of money, you spend a lot of money so you can save it on your taxes in the next year. That's usually how they do it. But yeah, because it's all about looking good for investors. And this is the problem when you're a publicly traded company, is you're under more pressure to perform. And it's not about keeping your people. It's about keeping the investors happy. They said that she'll probably just put one of her deputies in instead because it's cheaper. But they said either way, the pending cuts come as O'Connell. That's the person who got rid of Godwin.
Yeah.
Looks to clean up the network after Godwin's reign, which includes ridding the network of former execs' cronies.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, boy. Contracts or not, I think the people making 8 figures at GMA should volunteer to reduce their salaries to save the jobs of their coworkers. They won't. Well, no, because our agent probably gets a huge cut of that too. You know what I'm saying? The agent's probably getting a couple $1 million off each one of them. They're not going to agree to that.
Isn't this a socialist way?
Isn't this a socialist way?
It is until it's one of them. And then it's like, no. Anyway, none of this surprises me. But I think it's interesting because they're admitting without admitting it that the streaming is still not where they need it to be.
Right. Yeah, they're not commenting on it because it makes them look bad. Because and I think they're gonna try to razzle dazzle the investors and be like, oh guys, we're not quite there yet, but we're almost there. Next year, if we can survive until 25, next year is going to be the year that the big red Disney boat comes in, and it's going to bring you investors boatloads of money. Now we got rid of that nasty man, Nelson Peltz. Now we got rid of him. We're going to make all kinds of money. It's like, no, you're not. Theme park attendance is down. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens next year with Universal. And you have a couple big movies in the pipeline, but, you got to wait until 2026 and 2027 to really cash out, don't you? Mm-hmm. So we're going to wrap this up.
Yep.
Please subscribe. We'll talk later.
Bye.